Also in the Many Blessings video, I thought it was interesting because in the background, you had the videos with Malcolm X, the Nation of Islam, Michael Jordan, Sidney Poitier,
Mhm.
a bunch of different people. So how and why did you select those images to accompany this video?
Well, I have a very close friend of mine. I would also consider him a business partner and basically like a creative director for me. His name is Chems. And we sat down and we were talking about the video. And I think when you look at like this idea of like uh, Black history, and then I always thought about the idea when anytime a hip hop artist plays these type of like things of Black people in the background, it's always something that's very like oppressive, like slavery and like all these things, and people getting hosed down. And I wanted to go the complete opposite like that. Some of the most monumental moments for African American people, which would be like Sidney Poitier accepting that award, Jordan jumping from the free throw line, Malcolm X, Basquiat when he was really young before the hair. So yeah, I mean, it was a correlation between them being blessed at what they're doing and me being the same thing in hip hop music.
Well, there it is. I think that is a good point because that framing can be, while important, is also limiting, given
Yes,
a lot of the amazing contributions Blacks, African Americans have done, not only in the United States, but of course throughout the world and in history.
exactly.
I really appreciated that.
Oh,
Yeah, so then on the 560 AMG, that one is one of my favorite beats, but then you also reference Malcolm Little and the Audubon Ballroom and all that stuff.
yeah.
So I thought it was interesting that you, other than El Haj Malik Shabazz or Malcolm X, that you referenced Malcolm Little. So was that purely to rhyme, or were you like, what was the objective there?
I would say a mixture of both. When I write music, especially when I'm in this kind of zone, because I can make music that's very simplified, but when I really want to dig deep, I really want it to be like a class, So I want someone to be like, some people don't even know Malcolm X's name is Malcolm Little. You want to know, some people would not know that. They would just, his name is Malcolm X. So I want someone to be like, who's Malcolm Little? Malcolm X, his real name is Malcolm, so it's, I do things purposely to kind of make the listener who's really interested in me get more engaged. It's a class, definitely, when you listen to the music. There's certain things I talk about that people just will never get unless I explain it to them. But all the lyrics are on Rap Genius, so explain to the T.
Well, there you go. So moving on with Radar and the Domain Grand Crew on there, that split song. That one, I was really intrigued because the beat compared to Many Blessings and 560 AMG is much darker and more eerie. So given that this is an EP, given that If I Was Born Then is an EP and it's short, how did you go about selecting like different feels and different sonics as you were going through the project?
No, it was definitely a process. Definitely one of the dopest processes I've ever done for music. So jumping back to Many Blessings beat was a 10-second outro on a different beat. That was supposed to be Many Blessings. But I listened to the whole beat with Side and I was like, nah, scrap the front. Let's take the back of the beat and turn it into something. So Radar, that part of the beat, the Domain Grand Crew, is just that same beat chopped and screwed, basically. Okay. So I kept rap. I was flowing on the track so crazy, and it was so short. And I was like, I need more, but I didn't want to rap on the same beat anymore. And I was like, yo, man, I was like, yo, Sai, do you think you could add another beat to this? And he was like, all right. And we kind of sat on it a couple of days, and I was like, yo, just take the same beat and chop and screw it. and just add it on to the end, it'd give off a completely different vibe. And it, it did. It gave itself its own, record. So
Definitely
we had to be, we wanted the project to be like a movie. We wanted people to really sit down and listen to it. It's only 15 minutes long. So, it could get playback. People be like, damn, that drum was hard. Like, let me listen to it again. But during that 15 minutes, we wanted the listener to really feel like they were going through an experience, listening to us for the first time.
Yeah, I think you accomplished that as well. And on Radar, also, one of the lines that I really enjoyed was like, the single word is how you dodge them cases. So the single word is how you dodge the cases.
Oh, yeah. Yes. You don't say nothing, man. That's how you dodge them cases.
Break down the inspiration for that. What was it?
Behind the Radar song?
No, that lyric.
Okay. Throughout the whole vibe of the record was this idea that, especially in hip hop music, it's a very flashy field of, and being flashy, you get unwanted attention and sometimes dangerous attention, so it was always best to, move below the radar. And the neighborhoods, where I came from, in the Bronx, definitely on certain blocks, there's a lot of, police patrolling, and you can't say anything. That's how you would dodge from being involved in anybody else's business. That was the main thing. If you didn't know what was going on with anybody else, you keep your mouth shut. That has nothing to do with you. So that was the inspiration behind that line.
Okay. And another song on If I Was Born Then, and maybe my favorite is Caution, because that one, I really liked the imagery that you were able to deliver lyrically, like creeping late at night and your enemies are near, and this kind of like caper type of thing in a way. So when you were breaking down the kind of that thought and that mentality of someone coming after you, how did that put you in a different place lyrically and as a writer?
So that's another interesting song. That beat, when I first got that beat, I didn't know what to do with it at all. Like I had no clue, and I knew I was getting to the end of the project. I was like, I need to do something with this. It's special, but I didn't know what to do. I sent it over to a close friend of mine, and someone who I would say is musically the complete opposite of me. I mean, melody based, it's crazy. So I sent it over to him and I said, yo, man, what vibe do you get from this? And he sent me back just a voice memo. And it was just basically like, na na, na na, ba na ba ba, dun dun. And I was like, okay. And then out of nowhere, I was just walking down the street, listening to it, and I was just like creeping, late night. And I mean, literally that song came out of nowhere. I really don't know. I would say, not to say I don't know how I created that, but I get into this zone when I'm making music, and sometimes I just black out, and before I know it, like the whole track is done. But the whole idea behind it is, especially it building off the idea of Radar, people are always watching you at all times. Somebody's, hating on you, plotting on you, trying to take from you. And I speak from inside, and I also speak from outside, from people telling me stories of people plotting on them and situations that have happened to them. So that was kind of like the whole, concept of the song. And basically the other half of the record is more of a personal side, which is like a situation that I had with somebody in my life that I don't, talk to anymore. And I kind of felt like I had this burden on my chest. I was holding this grudge with this person. I feel like this was like the song where I would, let it go and put it behind me.
Well, I think that definitely has, Caution has, in my opinion, some of the more powerful parts where you're talking about kill you for a couple dollars, smile at the wake, shed tears with your mama.
Yeah, that's from Juice.
Yeah, that's like putting that in the framework of the rest of the song. I think gives it an extra power.
Yeah, I really wanted to be like I wanted it to be a story. That was the real storyboard record right there from top to bottom. It's a whole thing. People will plot on you, but it's my take on other hip hop artists. It's how I feel like, if they won't get a chance to relapse, because I'm the wrong nigga to aim at. So let me tell you why I could say that. Because if you think you could go to Subway one day, well, nigga, I derail any train track. It's like me trying to say that if I feel like I have any problems with anybody in a hip hop arena, it's not going to be a thing, because talent wise, I'm surpassed all of that. And even if you tried to diss me subliminally, which is the subway, I would derail so it's the whole rap thing, metaphors and shit.
Yes. Well, yeah, I really like Caution. And then
that's what
the project ends with the Jesse Glover track. And that one, I wanted you to explain how you were talking about how you're forgiving your doubters. So I wanted to know what made you say that and what's your inspiration for that?
During this whole process of making music, I would tell a lot of people like, yo, I'm coming out and working on stuff. And you could kind of see people's face like, whatever, like, all right, man, like, you ain't coming out with no music kind of thing. And people looking at you like crazy for even thinking of like, pursuing the dream of like doing hip hop music, because it has this thing on it now where it's like you have to be like a certain level of artist to be taken seriously. So I was telling people that me and, Rob inside is working on music, and a lot of people were doubting the process. So I felt like for anyone, because trust me, there's a lot of people out there that the project dropped, and trust me, they listened to it from top to bottom and they heard that line. The same people that were doubting me. So it was the proof that, this is the final song, this is the outro, and it's done now. This project is out. You can't talk about it no more.
Well, there it is.
Yeah.
All right. So then, Geechy, what are your next steps, and what are you doing to help get If I Was Born Then out in the world even more than it already is?
I mean, basically right now we're just we're plotting every day. We're game planning how to get the, music playlisted, get it out there to people that are out of our immediate circle, visuals for basically, we're shooting this like 3-part visual for Jesse Glover, Caution, and Lemon Squeeze. Excuse me. And that's basically it. We're gonna push this project for another, 5 months, 6 months, because there's a lot of people that haven't heard it yet. A lot of people that haven't got to hear this yet. And we don't want to. I could definitely right now go to the studio and record another 15 songs and put out a project next week, but it's not. I don't think it's worth it yet. I think people need to really sit with this. This still has time to grow. It still has potential to grow, and that's really it.
Well, there it is. Well, I'm excited to see the next steps, Geechy, and thank you for coming to Unique Access, man. I appreciate it.
Okay, y'all, appreciate it. So appreciate it so much.